Welcome to Whips in the Dungeon 101.18. Today we're going to talk about a whip circle and a whip lane. And I've got an oversized clothespin, and my sheepskin is going to represent my whip catcher. I'm going to ask my whip catcher to hold the end of the cracker, and if I step out here, the length of that signal whip is a radius, forms a geometric, or it forms a radius to the whip catcher. If I were to walk a circle with that signal whip and scribe a mark, that would form an arc on the floor. That imaginary arc I'm going to call that my whip circle, and you could also think of it like a toe line, maybe like in basketball when you toe up to the free throw line. Only maybe the 3-point line would be a better analogy in basketball. When you toe up to that three-point line, it forms an arc or a radius. So we can work that whip circle anywhere on that arc, and our horizontal throw will stay in contact with the whip catcher. But as we work that whip circle, the sensations on the other end of the whip are going to vary because we're moving around to different parts of the shoulders of the butt. So that's the idea of a whip circle. Now for a safety zone behind this whip scene, if I took that same radius and I drew a bigger arc, then that would be a comfortable safety zone for a dungeon monitor to use. So whip lane, what the heck is a whip lane? Well, if I'm throwing a forward figure eight or throwing overhand with a snake or a bullwhip, I don't use the whip circle, I use a whip lane. So again, my whip catcher is going to hold on to my cracker for me. And if I step out here with my snake whip, if I'm throwing a forward figure eight, I'm throwing forehand and backhand, so that's my initial radius. If I make a mark in the floor, that would be my toe line. And as I stand behind my toe line and I throw this forward figure eight, if you watch the arc the whip makes, it comes out at its widest point. Its widest point is on either side of my shoulders. So it's kind of pie-shaped in its geometric form. Now but most dungeon monitors are going to set this up as a rectangle and call it a whip lane, but the actual travel of the whip is more, I consider it more pie-shaped, because it's wide here and it narrows in as it comes in toward the target. We can certainly work that toe line. The safety zone behind us would again be the length or radius of that whip, even though as you see me throwing the forward figure eight, it's only traveling back over my shoulder maybe a third of the distance or 2/3 of the distance. Having that full length of whip behind me as a safety zone adds a little extra safety factor. So there's the concept of whip circle and whip lane. This is a reshoot video. If you want to see the original video, go to one of the links below, and as always, either subscribe or ding the bell and give us a thumbs up.